Hey everybody, figured I would make this video for an update on the lathe drama. Dun, dun, dun. So after contacting Grizzly about the wobble and the spindle, they sent me a new spindle. I put it on day before yesterday. They sent a new spindle with 2 new bearings and a new key, so that way when you put your pulley on, the key is what holds that pulley in position. I'll probably show a video. I did video me replacing it, and it was entertaining a little bit. The instructions were not completely clear, at least on the aggravation and how hard it would be to get it off and on. It seemed simple enough. But these are sealed bearings, so you'll see in the video. I'll try not to take too much time explaining how that process went, because one, it doesn't matter now. But I do want to share with you my experience with Grizzly and their customer service and all that. Unfortunately, they weren't that great. So when you put on the bearings, the new bearings, after you pull the spindle out, you put the headstock bearing facing the tailstock on, and then put the shaft through it, and then you pound that in. So you're essentially putting the bearing on the shaft and in the lathe at the same time, so it houses in the lathe. So to go around to the back side and put that one in, keep in mind you've already pounded and seated this bearing into the front of the headstock, so you have to go in behind and pound the backside bearing and the rear bearing. The housing on the cast that the lathe in the inside is casted, it is cut, and I'll even show you in the video where it's not even. So you can pound away on one side of the bearing. You have to top bottom, or however you want to do it all the way around, and you make sure you have a wide enough piece of wood so you don't break that seal. They're sealed bearings. You break that seal, grease comes out, and it doesn't matter how good it runs, it's not going to run good very long. So that's ultimately what happened. Because of the housing being cut, I don't know how to explain it, but in the video I show it, not even though you pound that bearing in there, one side you're limited to how much you can pound it, so then the other side's just so I had to get a smaller piece of wood to try to get in there past that uneven housing, I guess I'll call it, and I ended up hitting the seal. And it's very easy to do. It's not, I was being as cautious as I could to not do that. So I had told the guy on the phone at Grizzly, I think his name was Larry, that I talked to. He said that if it didn't work out or you couldn't get it on there properly, then they would send a new headstock or send back the whole lathe. Oh, we'll replace the headstock. It's not a big deal if you mess it up. It's just cheaper and faster. And yeah, of course, because I'm fixing your equipment for you. Of course it's cheaper. So, yeah, I did go with it, so I can't complain. Called him not even 5 minutes after. I was like, well, that's messed up, and that's going to be needing replaced again. So I think I'll just take the second route, which was offered after you replace the spindle yourself, and send back the headstock and just have them send me either a new one or whatever. I was under the impression they just send me a new one. Well, that's not the case. They send you have to provide your own packing, your own shipping. You don't pay for shipping, they pay for the shipping, but you have to build your own box, put this headstock in, so that way it can get sent back to them, they repair it, and then send it back to you. God knows how long that's going to take. So I'm like, such a pain in the butt, but I want to get this lathe fixed so I can get turning. So whatever I got to do at this point, I'm kind of at the mercy of them and their warranty and how they work defective equipment. The next day I called my husband to make sure that that's what he wanted to do, build a box. And and that's another thing too, like I have to, granted I might just build it out of scrap wood, but still that's money out of my pocket. I'm having to provide a case to put this in to ship it to you, whatever. So I called a few minutes later, and me and my husband were getting the headstock prepared so that way we can get it shipped. And they informed me that since I purchased the lathe on Amazon from Grizzly, sold by Grizzly, but from Amazon, I'm going to have to pack up the whole thing and return the whole thing. And they just refund us once they get the lathe and check it over and make sure that, you know, everything is there. And then you can just buy another one. Please, seriously, you put me through all of this mess, and excuse me, I can't even talk, I'm so angry. You put me through all this mess and you want me to purchase another one from you? You've lost your mind. You've lost your dadgum mind, and I don't know who's going to help you find it, but you're on your own. So I was just like, the guys on the phone were very kind. They were understanding, but I'm thinking to myself, I can't believe this. If you bought a brand new car right off the lot, you're driving it home, and this thing starts to whatever down the road, you're going to go home and call them and say, hey, the car's, I can't drive it. It's broke. It's brand new off the lot. And they call and say, oh, well, we know what it is. It's just wheel bearings. We'll send you the parts and have you fix it yourself. That's not how it works, folks. That's not how it should work. And as a business, that's not good for business. That's not good for you at all. I did ask people and get some ideas on how Grizzly customer service was, because sometimes parts go and it's not their fault. It's not the people's fault that this equipment sometimes has issues. And I understand that I'm not getting on to anybody in particular or people themselves, but the policies and the way they handle these situations is just, it's rude and unprofessional. And I would never, I mean, as wood turners, if you were to sell something to somebody and I don't know, it's just exploded, broke. I can't even use an example, because I wouldn't feel good about selling somebody something that I knew that was defective in any kind of way. Or if it was, I would replace their money immediately, apologize, and, you know, I'm sorry, but we're talking about, you know, 500 pounds worth of equipment here. So it's not like it's, you know, I don't know. On top of that, prior to returning the lathe or discovering that it was the actual spindle, I thought it was the adapter, like I said in the other video, that caused the run out. And the gentleman on the phone, Grizzly, said that if it still has run out, you can return the adapter. The adapter was $20.97. I mean, that's a lot of money for a chunk of metal, but if you gotta have it to put your chuck on, you gotta have it to put your chuck on. I returned it, and they only returned $3.33 of my money. I paid $20.97 for that thing. It was your lathe to begin with that was causing a run out. So that whole situation, I've been on the phone with them 3 or 4 times about getting my money back, and it's, oh, the 24-hour blah, blah, blah. Still, I've talked to them Thursday or Friday, and I still haven't seen any emails like they promised me, no callbacks to let me know that it's been taken care of. Very disorganized way of handling things. And so thank goodness I kept the box that Grizzly's lathe came in, and my husband and I just reassembled it and put it in there. If anybody's ever unboxed these things, especially Laguna, because that's styrofoam, you got to rip that thing apart in order to get it out. There is no putting it back in the way it came in. That was a wooden crate, and it had all these special bolts and things like that, which we kept a lot of that hardware, but getting it out, you have to tip it, unscrew the headstock off of it, then pull. You can't just slide it off because of how they have it tightened on there. So it is put back to the best of mine and my husband's ability with the weight and the equipment that we lack to properly put it in there. So it's in there and it's all together, but they have to receive it and check it over to make sure that they can refund you, which is quite aggravating because clearly they have records of phone calls of me with this thing, and you know, it's whatever, long drawn out, built upon frustration because of all the issues I'm having with lathes. So good news though, it is in the box, it's sitting in my driveway. I'm waiting for them to send me the shipping label so I can smack it on, call UPS, tell them to come get it. Still haven't gotten that. They said within 24 hours. Still haven't seen it, so God knows how long it's going to sit in my driveway, and I'm going to pay interest on my credit card for this for God knows how long. So it's just frustrating. I think there's just got to be a better way to handle equipment when it's defective. It's not my fault. It's not something I did. So anywho, good news is, though, I pondered and pondered about what lathe now to get, because not great experience with Laguna. Their customer service was fantastic, though. They were great about sending a new headstock. And I really did love their lathe and how it was all set up. It was very sexy lathe, good looking lathe. Plus, it had a lot of benefits, a lot of nice things to it. So, I mean, it doesn't matter what it looks like as long as it works properly. At this point, I don't care. Could be, I don't know, whatever. Mosquitoes. Ugh, they're just nuts here lately. So me and my husband talked about it, and I was like, well, Woodcraft showed that they had a 10% off sale of the Lagunas, and I was like, well, you know, maybe I'll give Laguna another shot, and I can get another one and just hope for the best. And at this point, I'm hoping for the best in every aspect of this. So I contacted my Woodcraft that's here. They're about an hour and a half away, so they're about 60 something miles from me. I was just going to have them deliver it, because driving all the way down there and driving back was going to be a whole day, especially coming home and then putting it together. It was going to be a whole day event, but I decided, you know what, maybe where I'm missing in all of this is, you know, ordering all this stuff and having it shipped to the house. I'm missing that connection, the connection you get with the people, and being able to talk to them and them understand your concerns, and being able to have them just be honest with you, and you're standing there with them. It's something that I was like, well, maybe that's what's missing in all of this. I don't know. You know, the Lord has mysterious ways in how He works. So I called. They were very nice on the phone. Let me know that they had one. They're staring right at it, so I don't drive all the way down there and then it be gone, or they don't have one. I get there and just explain to them my concerns with my last Laguna that I had, and my experience with the Grizzly, and making sure that, you know, if there is issues, how do you guys handle this? I mean, I've had a lot of issues to where you ask these questions now. You don't just assume or think that they're going to do the right or good thing. They don't have to, I guess. I mean, what are you going to do? Get a lawyer and sue them over it? I'm not going to do that. So, I know this sounds ridiculous, but unless you've been in my shoes and experienced the mess that I have gone through just to get a lathe that turns a round object. Not egg-shaped, not poof, blew up, you know, something that works. The gentleman there, Mark, he was very helpful. I was looking at some tools, and I bought I have a gooseneck hollower from Easy Wood Tools. I like it, but I'm just going to go with operator error. When I hollow out, it catches very easy, and when that thing catches, it'll throw you across the floor if you're not careful. At least me and my little chicken arms, it'll throw me across the floor. So I already used it, so it's nice and dirty. I bought this Easy Wood Tools finisher, rougher, whatever, just the straight round one. And it was the same price as I could have gotten it off Amazon or anywhere else. So that was nice. And, you know, speaking with guys there, they seemed like most of them that we spoke to today were turners. So being able to bounce off stuff off other turners that, you know, work in places and they've either had experience with some of the things you're looking at is really nice. Mark was very helpful, so I thank you. Shout out to Mark at Woodcraft in Clearwater. It's a Clearwater, Tampa store. They're right behind the Clearwater St. Pete Airport, just a few blocks down. Mark and Bob, he was so sweet and kind, and the kids just loved talking to them. And another gentleman, I almost want to say his name was Larry. I'm horrible with names, so I truly apologize. You know who you are. Woodcraft in Clearwater came in today, Saturday, and not only did they didn't have one in the box. So back to the Laguna Lathe. They didn't have one in a box. They just had one set up on the showroom floor, which was fine because, I mean, the pros and cons of that is like, cons, you got to take it apart, put it in your vehicle, which they helped us do, so that wasn't a big deal. Versus just getting out of the box. I guess it's just like a showroom floor car, you know, like, you don't know, people have been pawing at it and whatever else, but that's okay. It's fine. It's just those weird particulars that sometimes you think of and you're like, what's wrong with it? Somebody's pawing at it. Nope, they helped us load it onto the trailer. Matter of fact, the gentleman, which I think his name was Larry, gosh, he didn't have his name tag on today either. So, a gentleman, he listened to my concerns about when I first plugged in the Laguna, when I first got it before the Grizzly lathe, and smoke came boiling out of it. So nice. They put it on the cart for me. He found a 220 outlet, and we rolled it over there, and he plugged it in, turned it on, you know, just to ease my mind. I didn't even ask. He offered, which was great. That means he was listening to me, and you know, women, we like to be listened to. We might be, but we want you to listen to us, dadgummit, and he did, and that was amazing. He went above and beyond. I mean, anybody could have just said, hey, let's plug this in, and insisted on it, but I didn't even have to ask. He said, you know what, before we roll out the door, let's go ahead and plug it in and let you feel good about it. And that was great. I thank you so much for doing that. You have no idea how much that meant, going above and beyond. All of the gentlemen in there were man, they were answering questions and just there if you needed anything. And of course, you know, I haven't been into a Woodcraft store before, or any kind of wood turning store before. My store is Amazon. You know, that's as far as I could go with that. So it was really awesome. That was an awesome experience, and I hope that I can make more trips out there and just bring a wallet, bring somebody's wallet, because you're gonna, yeah, it's hard to walk away. I told myself I'm not buying any tools. I'm just gonna buy a lathe, make sure this thing works before I invest in any tools. So anyways, yep, my Woodcraft store here in Florida is the Tampa Clearwater area. It's off of Roosevelt Boulevard. They send out like local ads and magazines, so if you're in Florida, and I think they also want to have one in Orlando too. Either way, I'm kind of in between Orlando and Tampa Clearwater. It would take probably about the same amount of time to get there, but this is the card. I don't know, it's probably going to show up backwards on the thing anyway, but so that's that. I just want, obviously, behind me, let me turn this way. I have the Laguna 18, what is it? Oh yeah, 36. I've had so many lathes, I don't know all these numbers, it's hard to keep track of them anymore. I first put the, what is this? Spur drive. Gosh. First put the spur drive in and turned a piece of mahogany that I had laying here, and it was smooth as smooth. So I haven't felt the smooth, I know it sounds ridiculous because a lot of you are like, well, yeah, it's supposed to be smooth. Yeah, well, I haven't experienced smooth since December. And I've had 5 total lathes. 5, folks. So anywho, I put on the spur drive. It turned really good and smooth. I put on my Nova. This is the, hold on, I gotta get the box because I gotta be able to tell you. Oh, excuse me, I'm back. Hi. The Super Nova 2, the Chuck bundle, which was like $200 on Amazon. I think at Woodcraft they sell them for the same price. And what's good about Woodcraft is that they will price match things, you know, depending on obviously the shipping and where it's coming from and all that. Because, but that was great to know. So that way, if you call them up and be like, hey, can you know, if you're close by and you want to pick it up versus waiting or pay shipping or whatever. So anyways, I got the Super Nova 2 Chuck, and it's a 1 1/4 straight, so you don't have to have an adapter or anything to put it on. I start turning with it, and I'm like, you can feel it and slightly see it. I'll see if I can't capture on camera here in a few minutes the the slight wobble in it. It's not in the wood that I want you to pay attention to. It's in the chuck. You can kind of see it. I don't think it's coming from the spindle. Like I said, I used the spur drive and turned a piece of mahogany, and smooth as butter. I tell you, I got so excited. I wanted to go out and party and scream and just have a bonfire and roast some marshmallows or something. I was so darn happy. It's crazy that that's what these machines are made to do, and I'm thrilled to actually have one that actually does that. So now I think, like, a couple people had commented on my About Me video that there's Ashley Hardwood posts a video about, or Doug, I think it was Doug, thanks Doug, about, oh, mosquitoes, about the Nova Chucks and something not seating right now. This is seating all the way against the spindle. There's like this, you know, the back plate. I don't even know how to explain these parts, but it does seat all the way down. I did lock down the set screw, and so I don't know. I don't know if it's the, you know, vibration in the chuck, or how you know, because it's obviously machined on different machines. These things aren't, so I know they're not exact, but it's not a crazy amount like I was getting with the Grizzly. So I'm happy about that. I think I can work or manage or figure that out. I think I could, as much as I want to turn with it just being exactly perfect, I think at this point I can handle a little bit of what's going on. I can at least, I hollowed out this whole piece with my new easy wood turn carbide, which I love how smooth that is on the outside of stuff. And maybe because this is vibrating a little bit, that I didn't feel like I could get it as smooth as I could if I just ran a gouge. But of course I was having problems with my gouge too because of a little bit of vibration that I'm getting. And that could be because this is wet wood. I understand there's a lot of variables on why wood could turn slightly off. If there's any that I haven't mentioned, you know, please list them below. Just make a comment and be like, this could cause it, this could cause it. I'm, you know, if anything, if it's not what's causing it for me, that may be something somebody else is experiencing and they don't know. I didn't know that adapters could cause run out until I got on the phone with the guy at Grizzly. So, and I had been searching for like what could cause run out. I mean, I searched YouTube like crazy, and it's just, I mean, thank goodness it's not something that a whole lot of people have to deal with. But I think maybe there's more people out there dealing with it than what we think, and it's just one of those, ah, mosquitoes are killing me, make you think you're crazy type situations. You're not crazy. There has to be, yeah, these are tools that are to make things round, not egg shaped. Otherwise it would be advertised as an egg shaped maker lathe. Anyways, I am going to turn this thing, oh, gotta pull it out. It's funny, I got so accustomed to the Grizzly buttons that when you get a new that has buttons. Alright, so I hope you can see that. I want you to look. I know there's this here, so that's going to throw you off. But in through here, you know, is pretty, I guess, most part even. And you might even be able to see it in this, a little bit of the offness. And I even, after I roughed it out, I turned it, after I put a tenon on it, I turned it around and shaped it so that way, if it was just because of how the tenon was sitting, or how the tenon was cut, or whatever, then it would be straight based upon on that tenon. You guys know what I'm talking about. I hope so. Alright, whoops, I bumped it. Now that is 700 RPM, and you can definitely see it here in the wood, but of course this was wet, so it could have, you know, slightly dried. I don't know, let me get something. I don't know if this will help. I don't know, the light may be too bright. I don't know, these mosquitoes are killing me out here. I don't know if you can tell. I don't want to get my hair down in there, and then you'll be seeing me get my neck broken off by my lathe. So, the only other thing I don't like is I noticed some people were complaining about the tool rests. When you tighten them, they bounce right back up. Well, I can turn this all the way around, and it never truly gets tight and stops. Now, I know you can tighten or loosen that bolt underneath to get that right tighten. My husband and I did that, and we tightened it like a little at a time, put it back on, tested it, see if it was, you know, working right. And no matter what tightness, like literally I got it so tight that I couldn't even move it across the bed, I can still take and turn it all the way around. So I don't know what that's all about. I got it, I mean, I have to put my back into it to get it to move. I got it so tight. So I don't know if you guys know a fix to that, or if there's something I need to know, adjustment. I mean, I did, like I said, I did adjust the screw underneath, and we got it so tight that we couldn't even get it on. We couldn't even get it to where it would move, slide easy, and we could still turn it all the way around. I don't, maybe there's a washer or something missing. I'm thinking maybe a rubber washer that's supposed to be in there that didn't get put on properly. Oh, these mosquitoes. I'll put, what was I going to put? I'm going to put a video of me. Maybe I'll just speed up some short clips and show you some pointers on that Grizzly lathe, replacing that spindle. Regardless, it's done. I'm done with Grizzly. I know there was a lot of people who said that they did and didn't have issues, and everybody has their own story and own experience. It doesn't mean it's going to be yours. My experience doesn't mean it's going to be yours. My experience with Laguna doesn't mean it's going to be yours. I mean, I talked to a lot of people who works out just fine, and God bless you, you know. You know, sometimes it is because bonehead people like me don't know what the heck we're doing. I don't know. But anyhow, I really appreciate everyone's comments, their encouragement, their helps, their tips. After I post that video, I've gotten so many comments about people that were offering, you know, information, maybe things I haven't thought of or done, and that's great. Anywho, I want to thanks again for all of you for subscribing, liking my videos, and listen to the rants and raves. I mean, there's only technically 2 videos, my About Me and this one, so hopefully there won't be any more, and if there is, then at least it's going to give others information about maybe what's wrong with their lathe, or what to look for in customer service when it comes to issues. Nobody wants to buy a lathe and 2 months later something go wrong with it, and then they just want to abandon you with $2,800 worth of useless equipment and then expect you to fix it yourself after they send you parts. Oh, these mosquitoes are the size of pterodactyls. I can feel them. My hair goes, at least it feels like it does when they're flying by. Alright, so that's it. Again, thank you guys at Woodcraft. You were wonderful. It was so good at talking to each and every one of you, and you listened. And that's what's important. We listen to one another. And I hope to see you guys again soon. And I hope to post some getting stuff done on the lathe videos. You guys have a wonderful night, and God bless. Take care.